I don't know what the heck was wrong with me there. Oh, hi everyone. This is the Immaterial Gamers Fantasy League. Welcome to week 2. A more normal week of the LEC compared to their previous Super Week. We'll get straight into it, to be honest. As it stands, D is currently at the top of the leaderboard. But will any of us be able to catch up with what happens in week 2? It'll be good to find out. So join us for the week 2 rundown. So, we started with Quickshot-In-A-Box, but as for the match, it ended up like this. Rogue ended up with 4 out of the 6 objectives, taking the Tower, the Herald, the Baron, and the win. Vitality starting to get back into their own form of late, and ended up with the Dragon and the First Blood. But, as it always seems to be, Vitality ended up losing 12-6. SK decided they just wanted to keep doing the old sweep all the objectives thing that they did for the past couple of matches. They ended up taking everything. Didn't stop them from having a couple of team fights on the way, but they dominated again, beating Misfits pretty darn cleanly. After taking the Nasher, they ended up with the Nexus 18-3. 19-3. Game 3, and G2 and Schalke actually went and had a bit of a nice fight. G2 needing to get back on top after their poor Super Week. They ended up with 3 of the objectives, ending up with the Dragon, the First Blood, and the overall win. Schalke did get the Tower, and they also got the Herald, but 12-7 with no Baron. As we move on to Game 4, XL and OG put up dukes. And it was actually a pretty close game in terms of the objectives. They ended up with 3 apiece. XL getting the Tower, the Herald, and the First Blood. Origin, though, did make sure they got the things that counted: the Dragon, the Baron, and the overall win. I say important. I mean, every objective's important, but when you win 14-4, it's just how it goes. Friday's game, it was Fnatic versus Mad Lions, and again, even down the objectives. Fnatic ended up with the Herald, the Baron, and the First Blood, but Mad Lions ended up with the other 3 objectives: the Tower, the Dragon, and the objective everyone was looking for, the win. This would turn out to be a bad weekend for Fnatic, and you'll see why in the Saturday games. 12-6. Saturday, and SK went on the roll against XL, but it was XL's time to shine this time. SK got 3 objectives. They got the Dragon, the Herald, and the Baron. But XL ended up with the Tower, the First Blood, and got their first win of the split. It ended 18-11 in favour of XL. Misfits were still wanting a bit of that sweep all the games pie that SK and Rogue were used to in the Super Week. But they didn't quite get it. They missed the First Blood, but got everything else. And it was nice to see a team that wasn't just dominating all the way, but knowing where it counted, how to win the game. 9-3. Mad Lions, they also wanted a bit of that sweet pie, but they were stopped by Vitality and their wanting of First Blood. It didn't stop Mad Lions though, just dominating, getting the other objectives of the Tower, the Dragon, the Herald, and the win. It was a pretty nice affair, and they ended up taking down the Nexus, gaining 25 kills to Vitality's 9. This was a big game, because G2 needed to re-establish dominance. And they pretty much did it, even though they only got 2 of the objectives, being the Dragon and, well, the win. Rogue ended up with the Tower, the Herald, and the First Blood. But this was a weekend where G2 decided to say, screw the Baron, we don't need you. 16-9 in favour of G2. Final game, Fnatic versus OG in the match of the week. And, well, this was going to end up being a shocker. OG ended up getting 4 of the objectives. The Dragon, the Herald, the Baron, and the win. Fnatic ended up with the Tower and the First Blood, but came out of the split 2 games worse off than they had entered. Hopefully they'll do better, but that's for Week 3's games. Table time. Right, Week 2, in the bag. But let's have a look at some of the results and predictions, specifically to this week. So, if we have a look at Martin, who ended up finishing off the pace this week. He ended up with 30 points. Wasn't that brilliant? Partially probably not helping due to the following misprediction of aiming for SG2 in the G2 versus SO4 game. I mean, that being said, it was only 1 point. Duncan had a similar problem, but he ended up coming out joint second at 37 points, and that was in spite of suggesting that XL were going to gain objectives in the match between Misfits and Schalke. But they were just a couple of predictions. If we have a look, I did end up on top, but I don't want to toot my own horn. That's highly egotistical of me, especially considering the fact that it's not helped in the main standings. And the rest of the guys, yeah, they had pretty good weeks as well. But if we move on to the total standings, it's still pretty damn close. So, stuff has switched around all over the leaderboard. Sapphire only a couple of points off Darius, and Andrea just falling shy of the top 4. Because Martin ended up there with 90 points, but D is still out in the lead at 98. Will anything change for Week 3? We'll find out. We'll see you then.